Hey guys, be sure to like and subscribe. Today I wanted to just have like a short, brief talk, since I'm on vacation, about making the jump. And a lot of guys out there, they kick the tires. It's like walking around the used car dealership, and they're kicking the tires, and they never buy the car. And a lot of guys that come over here, they kick the tires. They come over here, they visit the resorts, they go to the places, that are well-traveled, Palawan, places like that. You need to get off the beaten path a little bit and really know what the Philippines is all about to make a decision here. And it's not easy living here. We have our days over here where sometimes I wish I was back home, but for the most part, I like it here. And a lot of the other guys do too that come here. And it's all a matter of choice. And, if you, like we've talked almost for like more than a month now, we've talked a lot about Western values and taking them over here. If you leave all that behind, you'll be fine over here. But, part of it is giving that up and coming over here and getting used to living tinier, because most of the houses over here are tinier, guys. For you guys that are thinking you're going to move into these big plush houses over here, yeah, you can do it, but you're going to pay for it too, just like you would back home. Probably very close and similar in price too. That's why people become kind of minimalist over here. It's not about giving up anything, I don't think. I think it's actually about finding yourself, and finding that you can live on less. Because in the United States and in Western countries, we're taught to buy things, and bigger is better, have more, have better things than the Joneses. And when you lose that mentality, you gain more. You gain something bigger than that. And that's what most Westerners don't get. I know most of you guys out there do, because we've talked about this before, and I would say the majority of my subscribers do get it, And I'm thankful for the comments from those guys, because I think it helps the newbies coming over here and stuff like that. But some of the newbies, I talk a lot about the comments, and they're making the comments there that they don't think they could live in a small house. That's fine. You can find bigger houses over here. That's okay. But it's more than just giving up that. It's a different style, guys, because everything here does not equal up to what we have in the United States. A little bit of the cleanliness issue is different. Most of the restaurants are pretty decent. But even in the supermarkets, some of the supermarkets, when you walk through the meat section, you get different odors than you do back home. Granted, the meat's refrigerated in most of the meat markets, except for when you go to the outdoor market. Sometimes it's not refrigerated, and I don't buy meat there. But those are the things I'm talking about, and that's why, we talk about restaurants. When we talk about restaurants, we always mention, oh, I didn't get sick there, so that's a good restaurant, And when you live over here, it's a good restaurant, because of the cleanliness, But most of the stuff over here is basically the same when you're up in Manila and the restaurants and stuff like that. Somewhat. So every once in a while you get some restaurant that they have one person in there that might not, have the same cleanliness standards that everyone else does, and it just takes one person to get you sick. But I mean, when you're living over here, it's well worth it, guys. I mean, I know in the United States there's a lot of beautiful places too, but it's the cost of living that eats you. And I know a lot of you guys, some of you guys have worked and gotten $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 pensions per month. And that's great, because you can live anywhere in the world. You can move to Malta, you can go to Greece, you can probably even live in Hawaii or Guam or places like that, or Palau. And those are great places to live. But you can live here in some sections, some beautiful islands like Palawan and places like that, and live in a really nice gated community or on the beach or something with that type of money. And that's what I tell people. It's all about not being afraid to make the move and move over here. But you're going to lose some of the things that you're used to because you can't find some of those foods, or you can't find beef or hamburgers sometimes in some areas and on some islands here. And that's the problem here, you know. So you gotta just, you know, you do have to give up some things to live here. I mean, that's why I kind of chose to live around Manila, because I can have steaks and beef and hamburger delivered right to my door. And that makes my life a lot easier here, and it makes it more livable, you know. So when you come here and you're thinking about where you want to move, a lot of that has to do with the further away you get from Manila or Cebu or places like that, the further away you get away from the things that you like the best. So when you're planning on moving to a remote island, planning on living Filipino style. And Filipino style is not always fun. But if you live someplace in between, it makes it more manageable and easier to live. Those are the places you want to go to, you know, and those are the places where I'd want to stay anyway. You know, like the in-between places. And my place is kind of like an in-between place. We're on the outskirts of the congestion in Manila, in my town. Now, this town here, they're still in the congestion, I would say, but it's a beautiful resort, but the ocean here is filthy, you know, as you can see behind me. You can see all the trash on the beach. I mean, there's dogs running up and down the beach, but it's still a beautiful resort to come to because we have the pool and it's clean, and you know, the food is good. But if you moved probably 10 miles south of here, it starts getting better, and the water clears up a lot more because a lot of this water starts going out to sea there. I'd say about 10, 15 miles. You know, I go to Little Boracay, which isn't too far from here, and the water there is crystal clear. But that's a mixing point of this water with the other water. So even though it looks clean and looks fresh, it's still not totally clean. But you're starting to get clean, okay? Because the water's starting to mix there, and some of it's starting to go out to sea. So you don't want to be thinking about all these places, you know. And as you get away from Manila, also, you are going to have crystal clear water. And as you get away from like places like Cebu, places like that, you're going to get cleaner water, much better quality water to swim in. And drinking water is probably going to be a little bit cleaner too, you know, from wells and stuff like that. But you can't beat it here, guys, in the end. I mean, look at that, you know. It's just, it can't be beat, guys. You know, a nice, beautiful Manila sunset, you know. It just, you can't give that up. The water might not be the cleanest, but it's still a beautiful sunset, you know. And people talk about, well, it's not like in the United States. Well, go take a walk down in Boston Harbor and take a look down into the water and look at all the stuff that's floating down there. You know, it's not that good either, you know. And, you know, I used to live down in Charleston, South Carolina for a while too. And the water down there in some sections could be a little dirty too. For the most part, it was clean. But there was a couple sections where it was dirty down there too. You know, as you get on the coast, like Delaware, New York City, places like that, water's just as dirty. But Americans don't like to talk about that. And we have the same issues here that you guys have back home. Pollution, you know. Yeah, in the United States, most people don't throw their trash out the window and, you know, into rivers and streams as much as they do here. But that's part of living in a developing country, I guess you could say. You know, but the people are learning here. They're trying to teach that to the kids in school. I'm not sure if it's fallen to deaf ears or not. Another 10 years, we'll start seeing whether it did or didn't. You know, I do see it in my little boys' homework and stuff, that they're trying to teach them about trash and putting it in its proper place and recycling and all that. And I hope he learns. You know, I hope the world learns, because our oceans are dying, man. You know, it's everywhere in the world. And I look down here in the water here, and well, I showed you guys the other day, it's gross. You know, the water there is filthy. But anyway, guys, God bless. Take care. I hope you enjoyed today's video. So I'll leave you with that. Thanks, guys. God bless.